So what does it really mean to be a veteran on Veterans Day? We thank everyone for their service, sure, but it's hard to really put ourselves in their shoes.
So 12 News journalist William Pitts is here with a conversation you'll see only here on 12 News. Will, what do you have?
Yeah, from time to time we have a project we like to do called Common Ground. It's things that unite us, things that we can get together and talk about, things that we sometimes even disagree on. For Veterans Day today, it's service, and this is not a conversation you'll hear that often. Two veterans, one active duty, one from the Korean War era, talking about their service, the military, and what it's like to be a veteran.
How are you?
Hi.
Thank you for your service.
And what's your first name?
Matt?
Matt?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Are you ready for this?
I don't know. I think so. I mean,
I think we got to have a briefing here on this
That's right.
flight as we go in here. What branch of the service are?
Air Force.
Air Force?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what's your specialty?
POL, fuels. Making sure the aircraft at Luke Air Force Base get everything they need from cryogenics to jet fuel. What about you?
My specialty is reliving the Air Force situation. You know, when did you enter the service?
I entered the service in 2003. I was 21. College wasn't for me, and the Air Force was a good start. So.
Well, I went to college in Iowa, and they had a ROTC situation, and so I spent 4 years in the ROTC program, and then in 1954, I went into the Air Force out of the ROTC program. Typical Jack Armstrong, all-American boy. If I'm going to go in, I'm going to be a pilot. So that's what I chose to do, and went from there. What was your initial exposure to the military?
So I've got a grandfather who was a Marine, a brother went in the Navy, and I decided I couldn't do what they did. I had to follow their footsteps, but not as close. So I gave the Air Force a shot. I
would look forward to being a pilot, you know, as such. And this was in 1954, and at that time, the Korean conflict was, and I got my wings as jet fighter pilot. They went into the peace talks there, and that stopped the conflict as such. Pilots, if you were not Annapolis or West Point, we got a change of orders, and we were assigned to SAC, Strategic Air Command. It was satisfying to get that, because I often wondered in combat, you know, if I'm shooting at people, and I'm not a conscientious objector, but I wondered, how would I feel about that? You have been deployed then?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I've been deployed 5 times.
Yeah.
I've been deployed once on U.S. soil to Joint Task Force Katrina, when Hurricane Katrina hit. That was my first in 2005. We went to Iraq in 2009 to Baghdad, did some training, and then again I went in 2012 to Kabul, Afghanistan. That was probably the biggest challenge, going through the training.
In SAC, there was a deployment, but it was different from what you're describing, is that in order to have the preparedness for nuclear war, each unit would have 3 months of temporary duty each year that they were assigned to. Most of the air refueling bases were in the Arctic or up there, because if you were going to bomb the USSR at that time, shortest flight would be over the North Pole.
What does the public not understand about you and the military?
Let's see, what do you think?
So I think it's a tough question. I volunteered to be here. I volunteered to join the Air Force in 2003. As hard as it is to leave family, it is kind of the chance to see, have you sharpened your skill set? Have you prepared? And I think a lot of people don't see that.
I don't think that the public realizes the challenges that, you know, exist in keeping a force and keeping the dedication, you know, that's there. And I'm pleased to hear you say that they expect this from us. You know, I wonder if they know what our needs are, and that they can support us.
Thank you for that time. Thank you for that service in Korea. My grandfather served in Korea as well. I wonder sometimes, he didn't talk about it much, I wonder sometimes his thoughts on that. Do I feel as appreciated? I think it's a much different time for us today compared to the Korea that you served in. I mean, 100%.
Obviously.
Yes, sir. What does Veterans Day mean to me? So to me, I still think back about, like, you know, late elementary school, parades, marching, and thinking I understood what it meant, you know, the thanking people for their service, pride in the American flag. And now, looking at my kids, I appreciate the fact we're celebrated. I think we're celebrated today more than ever in American history.
For me, Veterans Day is appreciated, that we are appreciated as such. All of us have the capabilities to be patriots, all of us. So what does Veterans Day mean to me? I better continue to be an example.
That was great, Will.
Yeah, very well done. I love what you said. You just let them take the conversation where they felt
I really did,
necessary.
and it kills me that George is a better writer than I am, because he had some fantastic lines that I could not have scripted any better for him. As you can imagine, they had a lot more to say.
Sure.
We have a much longer version of this coming up. There's a premiere of the longer piece tonight coming up on the 12 Plus app. So you'll be able to
Absolutely.
get the full version. These guys, literally, we stuck them in a room and just let them talk for a while. The
Right.
stories they came up with and what they were talking about was fantastic.
And it's fascinating because you can tell that they're so unwilling to admit how heroic they are, and they're just so humble. All of our veterans, any veteran I've ever met, they're so humble. They have no idea.
And
how
selfless,
grateful we
right?
are.
I mean, think
Yes.
about what you have to do. And the younger man there, I don't know if he has a family or not, but I mean, you end up, you're a very young person, you go in there, you move far away from home. And if you stay in the military, generally it's 2 years up or out. So every 2 years, you're pulling that family around. Military brat, how many times have you heard that?
And Matt's been in the service for 20, I think he said 23 years.
Wow.
He's got kids, he's got a wife. And George, the older veteran, thanked his family for their service also.
Right.
And
Because
as you said,
they've moved 7
do too.
times.
Right. They're
It's,
all
it's
part
rough.
of it.
And they understand that sacrifice as a family, which is so great. I love that there's more of that conversation to be seen. Will, thank you.
On 12 Plus, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so make sure you download that. You can watch the whole thing. Good job, Will. That extended conversation is what I just mentioned. So 12 Plus right now, Roku, Fire TV, or Apple TV. This is the kind of stuff you're going to see on 12 News. It's like Netflix for 12 News. So it's a current newscast, old newscast. You can go back and look at archived newscasts, and then stuff like Will's conversation with those two vets. So that was
love
great.
that.
Or their conversation. I guess Will wasn't a big part of it.
Yeah, let them
I'm
have
glad
the
you brought it
mics
to
and
us.
run with
Yeah.
it.